So Weldon Spring, what's it like? What kind of area is it? And what does it have to offer when it comes to moving to the St. Louis area? Good news for you, that is what we're discussing today in this video, all about living in Weldon Spring, Missouri. So let's get into it. Hey, welcome to the channel. Glad you could join me. My name is Jacob Peistrup, and this is the Living St. Louis channel. And real quick, as much as I love making YouTube videos about the St. Louis area, what I love even more is helping people with the process of buying and selling in the St. Louis area. So if that sounds like you, if you are moving to the St. Louis area, you're looking to figure out which part of town is the best fit for you, and you want help navigating that process, give us a call, shoot us a text, send an email or a DM on social media, whatever is your preferred method of communication. Let's get in touch and let's start that conversation. I mean, that is my job. I absolutely love the reach outs that I get every single week from YouTube. So if that sounds like you, give us a call, send over a text or an email, and let's get in touch. So Weldon Spring, it's an area out west, right past Chesterfield. You cross the river and you enter St. Charles County. So Weldon Spring is kind of on the border between the St. Louis County and St. Charles County area because it is right there. Just past Chesterfield, you take the bridge on Highway 64 to get there, and you're in Weldon Spring. It is a beautiful part of town, right across the river, very suburban, lots of beautiful neighborhoods, master planned communities. You'll see some newer built homes, custom homes. It's got a very suburban feel. In some places rural, you'll see the houses more spaced out, some farmland going through. It is a gorgeous part of town. Reminds me a lot of Town and Country, similar feel, just further out west. Newer built homes in a lot of cases. It's a similar feel in both parts of town. Lower median sold price at about $480 in Weldon Spring, which is like half what it is in Town and Country, to give you perspective. Now, if you're looking to purchase in Weldon Spring, the lowest you'll find is probably a condo for about $150 or so. The houses in Weldon Spring will likely be upwards of $250, and they can go all the way up to $3 million in some cases. Weldon Spring has a bunch of beautiful homes across all price points. You'll see beautiful parks, golf courses, conservation land, lots of beautiful nature out in Weldon Spring. Whitmoor Country Club is right in the middle of Weldon Spring. If you're someone who enjoys golf or the country club lifestyle, there are a bunch of gorgeous communities all around Whitmoor, some beautiful homes you will see in that part of Weldon Spring. And again, if you're looking in the Whitmoor part of Weldon Spring, you'll see houses between $200,000 and $3 million if you're in the upper Whitmoor subdivision, which is a beautiful high-end subdivision in Weldon Spring. I'd say most of your options in the Whitmoor part of town are gonna be between $350,000 and $650,000. That's the biggest price range. Obviously, you will still have options below that and above that depending on where your budget is. As with any area, of course, you definitely have your different tiers of subdivisions in Weldon Spring depending on what exactly you are looking for. So if you're someone in the $300,000 to $400,000 range, you'll have a bunch of neighborhoods for that. If you're higher up in the maybe 600s and 700s, bunch of choices for that as well. And if you're someone looking in the 900s and anywhere above from there, again, bunch of choices in Weldon Spring. It really fits any budget. You have the whole spectrum in this part of town over in St. Charles County. Now, technically, the area of Weldon Spring is on the smaller side compared to some of the other bigger suburbs in St. Charles County. But the thing is, you are right next to O'Fallon, St. Peters, St. Charles. These are very similar areas. So if you're in Weldon Spring, you can't really tell where one city ends and the next begins because they blend together very well. You have the same amenities, same shopping, eating, all that kind of stuff in the same area. So you can't really tell when you switch over from Weldon Spring into O'Fallon or St. Peters, one of the bigger suburbs of St. Charles County that are pretty much right there. I mean, you have access to the same stuff in all of those places, regardless of if you're in Weldon Spring, Darden Prairie, St. Charles. They're very similar. So if you're in Weldon Spring, you're gonna have Mid-Rivers Mall Drive right down the street, bunch of shopping, all your amenities, big brand stores and chains along there, restaurants, fun stuff to do, all your shopping, dining experiences are gonna be very close by if you're in Weldon Spring. And of course, in the whole area, you have lots of medical centers, hotels, parks, all that kind of stuff that is very easy to find in this area. Great access to public schools as well if you're in Weldon Spring, and honestly anywhere else in St. Charles County as well. Weldon Spring also stretches to the other side of I-64, where you have a bunch of conservation land with the August Bush Conservation Area. You got tons of nature, walking trails, ponds for fishing. It's right there in between Weldon Spring and Defiance. You'll see that on the other side of 64 throughout the August Bush Conservation Land. Bunch of stuff out there. It's huge. It is a giant chunk of land of just, conservation area and nature. If you're a very outdoorsy person, you will love that. Now, I can't talk about Weldon Spring without at least mentioning the Weldon Spring site. During World War II, the Weldon Spring Ordnance Works produced a lot of explosives for the war, so lots of TNT and DNT that was coming out of this area. Later on, during the Cold War, they began using the land and the site for uranium ore processing. As you can imagine, in the aftermath in the 60s, there was a lot of toxic, poisonous, radioactive waste at the site, which, like I said, is just across the highway from a bunch of residential neighborhoods and people that live in Weldon Spring, including the drinking water. So obviously there was work that had to be done there. So obviously realizing that this was a huge health and safety concern in the 80s, they started the cleanup process. So if you drive by the Weldon Spring site, you will see this huge mound that you can actually climb to the top of, where they sealed up and covered up all of the radioactive and toxic waste from that time period. I've been there, it's pretty cool. You can walk up to the top, they have stairs going up, and once you get there, you can look out, you can read the signs they have explaining the Weldon Spring history during World War II and during the Cold War era regarding, everything that went down at the Weldon Spring site with the explosives they produced and with the radioactive material that was there. They also have this kind of science center you can go to if you want to learn more about the history and learn more about basically sustainable energy. I think it's through the Department of Energy, so that's right there next to the site as well if you are someone who enjoys science or history or both and want to learn more about that in Weldon Spring. But overall, Weldon Spring is a beautiful, very suburban part of St. Louis out in St. Charles County, right across the river from Chesterfield, so it's further out west. You got tons of beautiful subdivisions and suburbs if that's the kind of lifestyle you're looking for when it comes to moving to St. Louis. A lot of homes will be on the newer side, so sometimes the newest ones will be under 5 years old. They're still building some right now, and some of the older ones will still be pretty new at about maybe 15 to 20 years old. If you want big house, nice suburban area, maybe a pool in the backyard, you can find that very easily in Weldon Spring. The style of house you'll see is the very typical kind of Midwestern style, brick or stone veneer on the front, vinyl siding all the way around. Depending on the price point and the size of the house, you'll see that style a lot throughout Weldon Spring and a bunch of other places in St. Charles County in the surrounding parts, so O'Fallon, Darden Prairie, St. Charles. You'll see the newer homes, under 25 years old that have that very similar style out here. Now, like I said, Weldon Spring does have both suburban and rural, so if you want something in a community, in a master plan area, subdivision pool, all that kind of stuff, you'll see that. And if you want something that's more rural feeling, more space to yourself, out on some land, or backs up to trees, you can find that as well in Weldon Spring. You got a bunch of choices in Weldon Spring and some beautiful options as far as the homes you can buy here. So if you're looking to move to the St. Louis or St. Charles area and Weldon Spring is one you're considering, it could be a great fit for you. So if you are moving to the Weldon Spring area looking for help with the process of buying a house these days in this crazy market, or you have questions about the St. Louis or St. Charles area, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, whatever works for you. I am here to support you and your family with the move to St. Louis. So if you need anything at all, give me a call and let's get in touch. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave those down below in the comments section. I try to respond to as many as I can, or like I said, shoot me a text or send an email. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. That helps out a lot if you enjoy this kind of content, and subscribe to the channel as well so that you can see more content like this in the future every time I have a brand new video to upload. So thank you for watching. Hope you take care and have a great day. I will see you in the next video.